for something. But we definitely wanted to return to the level above human.
The kingdom level above human is not a static place. It is a place where growth continues indefinitely. The chief, the creator, is constantly evolving. And there are ones in that kingdom level who are constantly struggling to keep up with him.
One young woman who joined at this time was the daughter of Alice and Robert Mader. Gail was just 24. She had left her parents' home in Long Island and gone to live in California.
Hey, Gail, you ready?
For what?
The big day?
To entertain you?
She had a little store out there selling tie-dye clothes and silver jewelry and stuff, and she was doing pretty well for a couple of years. And after she broke up with her boyfriend, she decided that she was going to go on a trip. A couple of months later, we got one of these recruitment flyers for this group, talking about UFOs and all that. Then we knew we were in trouble. That was the first indication that we really knew she was in some kind of group that we didn't understand. It was almost sheer panic because we went months without hearing anything, and it's terrible.
When she called home, the one and only phone call in 3 years, a month after we got the flyer, I said, "Hi, Gail, what are you doing?" And she said, "Did you get my flyer?" And we said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, that's what I'm doing. What do you think of it?"
Her grandmother asked her, "Gail, please come home." Says, "When can you see us?" Says, "Probably never."
Hello, honey. Hello. Oh, when you coming home?
I don't know, probably never.
Oh, no, Gary, you've got to come.
I thought you'd say that.
Oh, I want to see you so badly. Here, I guess your father wants to say something.
Okay.
Hi. How you doing?
Great. How about you?
All right. Geez, we miss you, Gail. Yeah, we don't know what you're doing. We're worried about you. Why, how about coming up for a visit?
No.
Why?
Busy.
Oh, you can't be that busy. Come up and see us. I'll buy you a ticket. We want to see you. You can't be that busy. You can't see your family. Can you?
I don't know.
Ah, come on. Yeah, here's Alice.
So what kind of group are you with?
Well, kind of like monks, I guess.
Oh, really? Yeah.
We're all celibate.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's nice. Uh-huh. You eating well? You're not getting fat, are you?
No.
Good, good. There's no way I can contact you. You have to contact me? Okay. Well, keep in contact, baby, because I love you so much and I miss you awfully. Hey, how about coming home for Christmas? No Christmas? What are you going to do for Christmas? Well, I'd love to have you come home for Christmas, Gaily. You know how it is. All right? Don't forget how much I love you. First chance you can get, come home for a visit. Bye. Love you.
Now, breaking away from the world is not easy. It's difficult. It's tough. And breaking away doesn't mean that, I'm going to go live in some place with this little cult and I'll, spend time on weekends or at least on holidays with the family that I left because they're my no. It means that you leave that world behind. You even become another individual. It means that even the mind that you had as a human is aborted, and the soul that was given to you is filled with next level information, next level mind, and a new creature is born.
I'll talk to you tonight.
They got gas, but no lodging.
They got gas?
But it's not till tomorrow morning.
The only way of entering Doe's promised land was to stay within the confines of the group. Few students dared to pass up this unique opportunity, and Doe reinforced this anxiety.
What ended up happening was there was these idle threats, from my point of view, of fear that if you miss the boat, you may not get another chance. Any thought other than what comes from what he called your older member's mind was not a thought to be allowed in.
Another new member who joined at this time was Richard Ford, reborn in the cult as Rio D'Angelo.
About 88, I began looking very intensively for my purpose. You know, what am I here for? Why am I on this planet? And it led me to a lot of research about everything that involved evolution, not only of the physical, but of the spiritual. So that led me to a group called A Level Above Human, which was holding a meeting. It was their understanding that the earth was designed as a garden to grow souls. And it was as if the Creator had this garden as kind of a personal garden and would plant the seeds, harvest the souls, and then till the garden, you know, spade it under, and then plant again. And that was the whole purpose of this planet. Everything sounded so incredibly believable and very basic, and I understood it. Sounded familiar to me.
I would do anything that I could do to wake you up if you have that potential to know that kingdom, to be saved from this spading under.
After almost 10 years away from the group, Michael Conyers now has a perspective on what was driving Doe.
He didn't like his homosexuality. He was hiding from a piece of himself that he disliked. And so he created a myth around that piece that he didn't like. You know, when you come from a Christian background where your father's a Presbyterian minister and you're living in the South, where in the 70s psychologists still considered homosexuality a mental sickness, he came to a conclusion about his body that it was abhorrent.
For Doe's students, the suppression of their own sexuality through thought alone was proving so difficult that some felt compelled to take more drastic action.
Castration was not something that anybody in the class rushed into. Myself and one other individual were pressing Doe for quite a few years on having that option in order to eliminate our sexuality because we had no desire for it anymore.
If your eye offend you, pluck it out. It's the same idea. If something is so offensive to you that your control is threatened by it, then why shouldn't you dispose of it if you have that option to do it? Not that I have ever talked anyone into taking that action.
When it came down to actually doing it, circumstances led up to Sorority and I having to decide who was going to go first. And we flipped the coin over that, because it was a simple way of putting it in God's hands. But having lost the coin toss, I had a lot of frustration after he went through with it, and that he was experiencing the relief from the testosterone going through his system, and I was still having to deal with it. All human behavior is really primitive to us, is really something...
It was around this time that even Sawyer, a loyal member and often spokesman of the group, also decided that it was time to move on.
That's basically antithetical to Jesus' message.
I was compelled to leave. I had some frustration that we weren't learning lessons fast enough, and that the public didn't care about what we had to say, really.
If God said, hey, I'm calling you, hey, David, hello, David,
you're assuming...
I'm on the phone. Yeah, I don't want you to have sex anymore.
It seemed like a number of the students were stagnated, not able to move ahead on their weaknesses. I felt like I just started to have feelings of wanting to do something else. And